Well, I think you saw the president make the statement again today. Iran should make a deal. Iran has an opportunity to make a deal. That's the outcome the president would prefer. Our job is to provide options, and we will have options for the president should Iran decide not to take a deal.
Do you think strikes are on the table still?
Everything is on the table. It's the president's decision. We're here to help ensure that a deal is made, and I think Iran would be wise to make a good deal.
The United States quietly builds one of its largest military presences in the Middle East in decades. At the center of it all, the USS Gerald R. Ford, the most advanced and powerful aircraft carrier ever built, now docked at a NATO base in Crete, just hours away from potential conflict zones. This is not just a routine deployment. From Crete, the carrier will move east, joining another U.S. supercarrier, the USS Abraham Lincoln, already operating near the Arabian Sea. Together, they form the backbone of a growing American war machine in the region. Surrounding them are guided missile destroyers armed with Tomahawk cruise missiles, stealth fighters like the F-35 and F-22, surveillance aircraft, and airborne early warning systems. More than 150 U.S. aircraft have now been deployed across Europe and the Middle East, a force posture experts say is capable of launching a sustained air campaign. Why now? Because diplomacy is fading. Talks over Iran's nuclear program are on the brink of collapse, and both Washington and Tehran are preparing for what comes next. Iran, for its part, is not standing still. Tehran is strengthening its military partnerships and reportedly moving to acquire advanced anti-ship missiles designed specifically to target U.S. naval forces. From Israel to the Gulf, from U.S. bases in the Middle East to global shipping routes, every flashpoint is now on edge. Even the Pentagon is urging caution, warning that a large-scale strike could spiral into a prolonged and costly war with unpredictable consequences.
Steve has done a great job, and then a little bit later on, we brought Jared in. Jared was responsible for the Abraham Accords, which is incredible. Nobody else could have done that. A very smart guy. And we're making Jared an envoy also, envoy of peace. They're both envoys of peace. And you couldn't get two. I tell you what, I watch these two guys. I say, at least we're covered from an IQ standpoint. These two guys walk into a room. But people like them both, you know. They're good people. And they like them both. And they've had some very good meetings. They've had some very interesting meetings having to do with, as you know, Iran is a hot spot right now, and they're meeting, and they have a good relationship with the representatives of Iran, and, you know, good talks are being had. It's proven to be, over the years, not easy to make a meaningful deal with Iran. We have to make a meaningful deal. Otherwise, bad things happen. But we have to make a meaningful deal. But they have a great relationship with the representatives of Iran. They have a great relationship with the other one that they're really working on now, because so many of these, I mean, as an example, Kosovo, Serbia. I did that one. Could you stand up, if any of you guys are, when you're here, just stand up for a second. Kosovo, Serbia. Stand up. What a job. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So good. Israel, as you know, with, you could say Israel in numerous countries if you want to really know the truth, but Israel and Iran, and we'll see where that goes. But when you think of Israel, we've done the biggest thing of all. We have peace in the Middle East right now. That's bigger than people said it couldn't be done. For 3,000 years, they've been talking about Middle East. They said it couldn't be done. And you look at what's happened in Gaza. And one of the keys to it was when we took those beautiful, magnificent, we just ordered 22 more of them, updated model. The B-2 bombers are incredible. I never understood the B-2 bomber. I'd watch, it's a wing. And I've never quite understood that, Johnny. I'd look at it, I'd say it was beautiful, but what does it do? It carries very big bombs. And it went into Iran, and it totally decimated the nuclear potential. And when it did, when it decimated that, all of a sudden we had peace in the Middle East because there was a black cloud hanging over the Middle East, and if that wasn't done, that cloud would have been there. And countries like Saudi Arabia, countries like Qatar, countries like, nobody could have signed. You would have had that threat. You couldn't have had peace in the Middle East. So now we may have to take it a step further, or we may not. Maybe we're going to make a deal. You're going to be finding out over the next probably 10 days. And it's turned out not to be. And we do have some work to do with Iran. They can't have a nuclear weapon. It's very simple. You can't have peace in the Middle East if they have a nuclear weapon. And they can't have a nuclear weapon. And they've been told that very strongly. Since the hard-won ceasefire of last October, the United States and our partners have facilitated the delivery of vast amounts of humanitarian aid, numbers that nobody's ever seen before. In November, the United Nations Security Council unanimously approved the Board of Peace. And last month in Davos, we welcomed over 24 members to this very important new organization. And we are very closely working with the United Nations. In fact, I'm going to speak to the Secretary General in a little while. He's a good man. And I've had a good relationship. Other than in my last speech, they did turn off my teleprompter. I got up there. My teleprompter didn't work. I'm sitting in front of all of you people and more. I had no teleprompter. I knew I was in trouble because I'm walking up. You know, the teleprompters are over here. I had the most beautiful speech ready. I was all set to knock them dead. First, I had an escalator that stopped. You know that. It's going up. Boom. It's lucky my movie star first lady was in front of me because I put my hand on a certain part of her body and I was able to stop my fall. Otherwise, because she had no trouble, I said, boy, that was a very sharp stop, Johnny. So I said, that was strange. I've been on a lot of escalators. It's never happened before. Usually it stops very slowly. This was just boom. But our first lady was right in the proper location for me. I'm waving to people, and she was holding on a little tighter. She knew what was happening. She did. She said, that's a very successful movie out right now, like #1. Can you believe this? And she's a big movie star. And I always say it's trouble because I always say there's not room in one family for 2 stars. I told her that. We can't have 2 stars in one family. So I don't know what that means, but it's not good. But it is good because we're proud of her. She did people in the United States love the First Lady, and she did the movie, and it's become the biggest selling documentary in 20 years. Can you believe? The theaters are all packed. Women especially, they go back and they see it 2 or 3 times, 4 times. But together we're committed to achieving a Gaza that is properly governed throughout. The whole area is going to be, you know, so many countries that have really nothing to do with the Middle East, but they're maybe somewhat close by. They're all involved. They want to go in and fight. They tell me all the time, we'd like to send soldiers to fight if it's necessary.